All right, everybody, good afternoon. Yes, we are making another video here, and yes, it's another video that is not combine coverage, partially because it's not done yet. It's actually going on longer than I expected. The linebackers haven't even run, as far as I know, as of the upload of this video. So there's still a lot more that needs to be done there. So probably later tonight, maybe around 6 or so, I'll get the combine video up. If we don't have all the data tabulated by then, maybe I put it up tomorrow morning. I don't know, but it's coming. But I got to make a video talking about this because this should put a lot of speculation to rest, and it should get a lot of people to calm down. Whether or not you like this, it should get a lot of people to calm down and stop speculating. So Jordan Schultz sent out this tweet like 15 minutes ago, and I know we don't like Jordan Schultz around here for very obvious reasons. If you do like him, you shouldn't like him. If you don't know why, look it up and it'll become very obvious, very clear, very quickly. But Jordan Schultz is an NFL reporter of some credibility, and he said things about Seahawks quarterbacks in recent memory that ended up being accurate. So when Jordan Schultz says something about the Seahawks, he is not someone to be just dismissed out of hand because we don't like the guy. And don't get me wrong, we don't. But he might have something good to say. He might have something true to say. And he passes along this from Bleacher Report. The Seahawks have informed Geno Smith he will be on the roster in 2024 under his current contract. I'm told Smith has received commitment from Seattle's front office. So assuming the report is correct, which it sure seems like it is, I don't know why it wouldn't be. I don't know why we'd assume it isn't. The Seahawks have told Geno Smith that we're not trading him and we're not cutting him. He is going to be the starting quarterback in 2024. And at this point, the only way we can continue to speculate about another option for 2024 would be if we're just straight up lying to him, and we're doing it in kind of a scummy way, right? Because if we tell him privately, if we tell him mano a mano, we are committed to you, and then we trade him, that's a little bit messed up. Like, it's one thing to tell the media, like lie to the media all you want to. Who cares if you lie to the media? Lie to the media about everything. But if the Seattle Seahawks have told Geno Smith mano a mano that we are committed to you, and then they trade him, I mean, that's a little bit, that would be a little bit like, okay, what are we trying to do here? Like, what's up with that, man? So, bottom line is, there's every reason to believe that Geno Smith is here for one more year. Now, one thing about this statement that stands out to me is under his current contract. So that means no extension. It could mean a restructuring still, which, okay, but I've voiced my support for an extension before, and it sounds like that's not going to happen. So 2024 will be a prove-it year in this Ryan Grubb offense. If Geno does well, we probably extend him. If he doesn't do well, we probably release him. And both options are very viable at this point because the last year is mostly non-guaranteed. So both pathways remain open to the Seahawks. So, again, I would have loved to have gotten an extension done now because I have a good feeling about where this is going, but I understand that you want to make him prove it. It's a brand new coaching staff. They probably are like, okay, Geno, you're going to have to prove it with Mike McDonald. You're going to have to prove it with Ryan Grubb. You're going to have to prove it with the new offensive line that we build you. You did good things last year. You did really good things the year before, but that's only going to get you so far with this new regime. Understandable. I'm not going to be upset about that, for sure. But, yeah, 2024 is going to be more Geno Smith. Personally, I will say this. I'm hoping that we don't bring back Drew Lock. I don't know where that gets you. I don't know where Drew Lock gets you if he's not going to be in the conversation to actually play. And I'm not interested in paying Drew Lock what I would estimate to be somewhere around $6 to $7 million to be a pure backup, which is what he would be. I'd rather spend a fraction of that money on a rookie or a little bit less money on a backup with less upside who has maybe a little bit of a higher floor, like an Andy Dalton type. Not Andy Dalton specifically because he's not a free agent, but I'm saying the guys like even a Jimmy Garoppolo would be okay. Even if Bridgewater didn't retire, somebody like that. I think those guys would cost a little bit less and you wouldn't really get that big of a difference in production. So the only thing left to really discuss about this, because the important thing to take away is that Geno Smith's not going anywhere this offseason, is what do we make of some of the wishy-washy language that the Seahawks have used around Geno Smith in recent weeks? And it's possible that they were just misreading the way in which their comments were interpreted. They didn't really think that they were kind of being wishy-washy in their support of Geno Smith, and that's just how it came across. But given the fact that we are now a few days into the combine here, and now we get this report, it is possible. It is certainly a valid read, I think, to say that the Seahawks wanted to see what the trade market might look like. They met with other GMs at the combine, and they ultimately found out the trade offers that it wasn't good enough. And that shouldn't surprise anybody. When you look at the way Geno Smith has played the last 2 years, when you look at the financial commitment that we would have to him, even if we traded him, especially after the restructure, but even before it, the return on a Geno Smith trade should be significant. And I don't think that return was there. I don't think it was there before the restructure. I don't think it's there after the restructure. I mean, you think about it like this. You would have been paying Geno Smith more money to not be on your team than to be on your team for 2024. If I'm going to do that with a starting quarterback, this isn't a Percy Harvin situation where Percy Harvin was just this incredibly toxic, malicious cancer that we needed to cut out and just get out of here. This is a starting quarterback. This is a quarterback that has won more games than he's lost 2 years in a row. This is a quarterback who has worked with a mostly really bad offensive line and a really bad defense the last 2 years and still produced good results. So if I'm going to give that up and still pay basically his whole 2024 salary, I'm going to need some serious capital back. And I wouldn't expect anybody to be willing to give up what it would take for us to be worth moving off of Geno. For it to be worth it to move off of Geno for us, rather. It's just one of those situations where Geno Smith is worth more to the Seahawks than he's worth to anybody else. So I think that it is fair to conclude that they wanted to keep their options open, but what they have heard from the combine this week has shut the door. And they're just at this point like, well, if somebody had stepped up and offered like a first-round pick or more for Geno, maybe we would have had to have done that. Like, don't get me wrong, I like Geno a lot, but if a team had come along and been like, hey, we'll give you a first-round pick and a third-round pick, I probably would have done that. If Atlanta had come up and been like, hey, we love Geno, we're going to give you our number 8 overall pick for Geno, I would have done that. So I wasn't completely shut off to the possibility, but the possibilities that I would have been willing to bite on were so unlikely and so far-fetched, it seemed to me to be pretty unrealistic. So, y'all can stop speculating now, it looks like. So please leave me alone with your Geno Smith trade proposals. Please leave me alone with your fantasy of X starting quarterback for the Seahawks in 2024. We know who it's going to be now, and I'm down with it. I'm good with it. I know a lot of people are, and I know a lot of people aren't, and I kind of get it, but honestly, there's a lot of it that I don't get. So make your peace with it. We've got another season with Geno Smith. I think things are going to work out well, but only time will tell. I'll see you guys later. More combine coverage tonight. Go Hawks, and see you on stream tonight on Twitch.